Well, one of the biggest Pride celebrations in our area is kicking off tonight in Southern California. WeHo Pride is back, and here to talk about all the festivities this year is West Hollywood Mayor John Erickson. John, thanks for joining us.
So happy to be here talking about my favorite time in West Hollywood.
I think it's everyone's favorite time. And, I'm so glad that it's kicking off today with such an icon from Northern California, Harvey Milk. What's on tap for today, for Harvey Milk Day?
Well, tonight we have our Harvey Milk Day celebration. If you're in West Hollywood right now and you're wondering why can't I pay my meter, it's because it's free, because it's Harvey Milk Day in West Hollywood. But we're also going to have an amazing show, a drag competition at our beautiful West Hollywood Park. And then it kicks off a whole month-long celebration of art events, events popping up through our local businesses, and of course, WeHo Pride, May 31st, June 1st, and June 2nd.
It's so exciting. It's so many days and so long. How has the event really grown since you started doing it? I think in 22, right?
Yeah, well, we celebrated LA Pride here in the city for a number of years, and then we had WeHo Pride, and we've only gotten bigger and better every year. The city invests in LGBTQ arts and events like WeHo Pride because in a time like now when we're seeing bans and people rising in hatred against the LGBTQ community, we need a little bit more of a rainbow and a lot of love. And so our budget reflects that of a commitment to equality and inclusivity, and it's just such a great time in West Hollywood.
As Harvey Milk famously said all the time, you got to give them hope. And in WeHo, that's exactly what you're doing. You said especially in a time like this, Huntington Beach refuses to fly the Pride flag. Now we've just learned that the city of Downey is doing the same thing. They will not be flying the Pride flag this year. What are your thoughts about that, where we're seeing this sort of resurgence of anti-LGBTQ plus things, not only across the country, but here in Southern California? What are your thoughts about that and how that makes Pride even more important for West Hollywood?
Well, we've got a lot of Pride flags that will be flying here in West Hollywood, and we are loudly and proudly doing that. I can tell you that those cities' actions are not only shameful, but they're despicable. In a time where our communities need to come together and be there for each other for the most, to spread love and joy for the most of us that need it now more than ever. Any sign of hatred or masked in government bureaucracy is just not right. Let's come together. Let's show our beautiful community what it's all about. And luckily here in West Hollywood, we've been doing that since our inception in 1984.
I'm going to give you a little hope right now. I'm not sure that you heard about this, but LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn is actually going to be in Downey on June 3rd, and they are going to fly the Pride flag above the county buildings in Downey, and I think there are at least 7 of them. So that's at least something happening in that city, right?
I'll be actually there with her. When this event was put together, I was proud to not only know that it was happening, but I'll be joining in solidarity there with her and all the other LGBTQ elected officials here in Southern California. We need to stick together now more than ever, and flying our Pride flag loud and proud is something that they're not only going to do at all the county buildings in Downey, and by the way, I think there are more county buildings in Downey than there are Downey buildings, but I ultimately think that Pride, no matter what's going on, is going to be loud and proud in whatever city you're in LA County this fall.
Let me ask you one more question about that regard. For people who don't go to Pride, what they see is condensed coverage, and they see the most creative parts of our community, maybe the most outrageous parts, everyone showing pride. But Pride is really about more than a parade only. It's more than just coming out and walking a few blocks one time of year. This is really about political strength and community strength, isn't it?
It's so much more than just one weekend or 1 month every year. I'm a small town gay kid from Ripon, Wisconsin, the birthplace of the Republican Party, and they're having their 2nd annual Pride Festival there that was unanimously passed by my local town council. That's progress. But what that says to me is that no matter where you are, having these beacons of hope and showing it out to the rest of the world, that places like West Hollywood or the actions that Supervisor Hahn is going to be doing, they matter. Whether you see it on your phone or on the internet, when you look at that visibility, you see something that says you matter, you are loved, and that there is a place that is going to honor and uplift you. And that's the fight that goes on behind the scenes every single day. And that's one that I'm dedicated and we're dedicated to doing here in West Hollywood every day of the year, because Pride lives here in West Hollywood.
It sure does, and everyone knows that. Now, to get down there and join in the celebration, it's always just a little bit of a challenge, but something that's well worth it, of course. What do you recommend in terms of public transit? You know, there have been a string of incidents on Metro buses and trains that have a few people worried. So what is your message to people trying to commute to Pride this year? Should that deter them, or what do you recommend?
Well, safety is of utmost importance during Pride. We invest heavily in our public safety and community safety personnel across the city of West Hollywood, but I know we're working directly with our partners at the LA County Board of Supervisors, at Metro, at the Sheriff's Department, to ensure that when you get here, you're safe, but also getting here, you're safe as well. I always say pack a little bit extra patience when you're coming along. Please take rideshare if you're going to be taking public transportation, which I do a lot to get to and from. Make sure that if you see something, say something, and that we all are in this together to make sure we're all safe. But I know the actions that our Board of Supervisors is taking to make sure everyone's safe, whether they're coming to Pride or going somewhere else, is being really looked at. And I'm really thankful that we have a great partnership with LA County to continue that work. So when people get to West Hollywood, they're having a great time.
Yeah, and just a reminder to everyone, the LA County Sheriff's substation is right there in West Hollywood. So you really couldn't have a better situation when it comes to security. And I was down there last year. I don't remember any major security incidents. It's been relatively safe since you started, hasn't it?
Well, we always want to make sure everyone knows that we're trying to keep them as safe as possible. That's why security in and out of the Out Loud Music Festival, as well as in the free street festival and community concerts that's happening, you'll see our public safety personnel there making sure that you are safe. And so luckily, knock on wood, we don't have those types of experiences, but that's why we can never take anything for granted. That's why the partnership that we have with all of our local agencies is so critical. And that's why we heavily invest in public safety here for Pride and work with our community partners to know that when they set up a booth or when they're out there having fun or even going along in the parade route, they know that we want to make sure everyone is safe. And
you can do what I do. I always thank our deputies that are down there keeping us safe and making sure that they're part of the celebration as well. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about Kylie Minogue. This is a very big year for West Hollywood.
I hear she's performing.
I'm sorry?
I heard she's performing.
I think Kylie Minogue might be showing up. How big of a thing is that? That's pretty huge.
We are so happy to have partners at Out Loud Music Festival, as well as our own WeHo Pride Festival. When we started WeHo Pride back in 2022, the Friday night was a free concert that we wanted to give to the community. And that is going to be headlined this year by Kesha, an amazing artist. You might have heard of her. And then the Saturday and Sunday performances are going to have people like Janelle Monáe, Diplo, and then, of course, the iconic, the legendary Kylie Minogue will be coming right here in West Hollywood Park. And we have a few surprises for the community when she gets here.
I mean, surprises beyond that? That's pretty big.
We like to deliver, and we like to have a great time in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And when you get a chance to celebrate people like Kylie Minogue, and how could I even forget, Cyndi Lauper will be here in the Pride Parade as well. She is so wonderful. She's such a huge supporter of the community. I've interviewed her and met her several times. She is just a wonderful, wonderful person. What an amazing, amazing year this is going to be. Mayor John Erickson, I'll look for you when I'm down there. Thank you so much for your time, and happy Pride. Happy Pride. I'll look forward to seeing you on the boulevard. All right. Thanks a lot.